Hello guys, welcome to the CSS crash course. In this video, we will learn about block and inline level elements. My name is Kafui and welcome to my channel mods.dev. Please subscribe, like and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I release a content on the channel. With that said, let's dive in. When we talk about block level elements, these are types of HTML elements that are rendered on the page based on the following characteristics. 1. The elements start on a new line. So in my index.html file here, I just have this h1 element, which is a perfect example of a block level element. So block level elements always start on a new line. When I go ahead and then define a paragraph element, let's see what happened. I'll just use lorem to generate 20 random words and save. When I save, let me zoom in. When I save, you see that the paragraph appears on a new line. When I go ahead and define another paragraph element again, and when I save, you see that it is being displayed on a new line. Let me just enlarge my browser here. It goes on a new line in the document layout. So this is what we refer to as what a block level element, or this is one characteristic of what block level elements. And H1s or HTML heading elements and paragraphs are examples of block level elements. Another characteristic of block level elements is that when you don't set the width for the element, it will fill the entire horizontal space of each containing element. So the containing element of this h1 and this paragraph element is the body. So since we didn't define the width and then the height or the width for these elements, it goes across the document window. So I'll just create a CSS file quickly called style.css, and then I'll link it in my document using the link tag. And then when I do that and save, I'll go ahead and then select the paragraph element and then change the width to, let me just say 200 pixels, not 20, 200 pixels. When I do that and save, you see that now the width of these elements are now what, 200 pixels, but initially they went across what, or the document window. So when we don't set the width and the width property, it will take the full width of what is containing element. Now if you set the width and the height of the element, those properties get what applied. So when I go ahead and let's say I'll add a height of, let me just say 10 pixels, and when I do that and save, you see that this element is having a height of what, 10 pixels, and we can use our box model to visualize that properly. So when I come here and then come to this, I'll just select it quickly, the paragraph element. So we have this default margin, and then the width and then the height are being calculated into the total width and height of what, the paragraph element. So since that is not nice, I just did this for you to see it properly, that we can set the width and height of the element. I'll just go ahead and comment it out. Now, increasing the size of the element's padding, border and margins causes surrounding elements to be pushed away from the element, while decreasing the size of the element's padding, borders and margin causes surrounding elements to be drawn closer to the element. So when on this h1, I'll just go ahead and select the h1, and then when I give it a margin of, let's say 50 pixels and save, you see that the paragraph element, or let me just add a margin bottom so that we see that properly. You see that there is this margin that is being, this great big gap that is being created between the h1 and then the paragraph elements. When I increase it to, let's say 500 pixels and save, I'll scroll down, you see that we have this great margin or gap between the h1 and then the paragraph element. Now when I go ahead and then decrease the margin, so we can give a negative margin of, let me just say 10 pixels. When I do that and save, you see the paragraph elements are now closer to what, the h1 element. Now the next element we'll talk about is what, the inline element. So the inline elements are rendered on the page based on the following characteristics. The elements flow along with the surrounding content. So I'll just go to my document here, and then I'll define an inline element, just expand, and then let's say I'll just right click me here. I'll just write hello world. Let me write hello world and save. So this span over here is what? An inline element. So when I go ahead and then add another span and then say hello universe and save, you see that it goes inline. So it appears after what? The first element, which is what? The hello world. So that is it about what? Inline level elements. They don't occupy the full width of each containing element. They'll go in line with its surrounding content. Now the element will only be as wide as its content required. If you set the width and height of the element, those properties do not get applied. So when I go ahead and then select this span and then give it a width of let's say 300 pixels and save, you see that nothing happens. When I go ahead and then give a height of let's say 100 pixels and save, nothing happens. So unlike block level elements that the width and height are being applied, the inline level elements width and height properties are not being applied to them. So increasing or decreasing the size of the vertical padding, borders and margin has no effect on the surrounding element. So that's it about what? Inline level elements and block level elements. So I'll just go quickly and go to W3 Schools and then show you this. So how do you know inline level elements and block level elements? So this is W3 Schools website. So these are some HTML block level elements. So we have the address, the article, the HR element, the section, the nav, the UL, the video. So you can go to this website w3schools.com and then you can access this website and you can look at some of the block level elements in HTML. And then we have the inline level elements. We have the anchor tag here, we have the code, you have the span, you have the EM, you have the strong, so you have the image, you have the input elements. So these are examples of what? Inline level elements and then block level elements. That's all for this video. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section for discussion. Please subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I release a content on the channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. So one thing we can also do is that we can change these elements to become block level elements or inline level elements. So the H1 is what? A block level element. So I can select it and use the display property. So I'll just go ahead and use the display property to change it to what? An inline level element. So when I set the value to inline and save, now this element behaves as what? As an inline level element. So when I select the paragraph here, I'll just put the property of inline. When I do that and save, now you see that it goes in, it behaves like what? An inline level element, just like what? The span element. So I can use the display property to change the display of the span or inline level element to what? Block, to behave like what? A block level element. So upon doing that, you see that the span is no longer what? Displayed inline. They are all displayed what? As block level elements. So the hello world, you can see the hello world over here at the top and then the hello universe over here at the down. So that's all for this video. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section for discussion. Please subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I release a content on the channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.